Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
So Dan, we're here to talk about Exeter City's result. The team from the relegation zone thought they were going to win or at least scrape a draw, but it was not to be.
It wasn't, was it?
So City win 1-0 in the 94th minute.
Oh, my word. How many times have you watched the goal?
Oh, at least 10.
Yeah, I'm edging towards 50, I reckon.
Well, what's really disappointing is they all run over to the crowd and whoever the cameraman is can't move his elbow down 3 foot to, move it down 3 centimetres to give us 3 foot of what the crowd was doing. But never mind. It obviously looked like a rare old time.
Yeah, going mental.
Absolute.
We can safely assume.
Absolute scenes.
Amazing. What a goal. 700
people there. They would have absolutely loved that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, it was kind of, let's talk the listeners through it. If you weren't there, listeners, or if you haven't heard the news on the Vine, it was wild times. Exeter City were taking on Notts County, who were rock bottom of League Two, but they found a bit of form recently, and City went into the game not unconfident, but neither thinking this is going to be a walk in the park.
Strong side, wasn't it? Strong starting 11.
It was. And then... about 8 minutes in, yellow card for Ryan Bowman.
Yeah.
And then 22 minutes in, red card
for
Ryan Bowman, or second yellow, I should say.
Yeah.
Off he trudged.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say? Bowman gone Bowman.
Oh, yeah. Someone might say that, I suppose.
I mean, I heard a little bit, I listened on the radio, and there was a bit of talk about whether or not that second one should have been given.
Yeah. Have you watched them back?
I know they've only seen it once from wherever they are, but I mean the second one, you can have no complaints about that if you ask me. First one, who knows? Maybe whoever that defender is up against might have made a bit of a meal of it.
His elbow has got a reputation, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But the second one, no denying it.
He didn't even bother arguing, really, did he?
No.
So off he trudged.
Yeah.
And it was backs to the wall from then on. City were...
all
right, go on.
First half, I think, it's from what it sounded like, we were kind of on the front foot. And we reorganised, didn't we? And Taylor made the change.
Yeah.
So Piers Sweeney came on for Lee Holmes.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And we sort of reshuffled a bit. And it seemed like that was working. And we had a good shape about it. And I think we had a few chances. We were certainly still well in the game.
Yeah.
But then, half-time.
Yeah.
And from the sounds of it, from then on, it was all one way.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it looks like from the highlights. And so, we held on, didn't we? Pim made a couple of great saves.
He did make some good saves, yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
And then, remarkable. So have you looked at the stats?
Yeah.
So Notts County, 23 shots.
Yep.
And I think 6 on target.
Well, that's
goals.
pretty bad, isn't it? But you're the bottom of the league, so...
Yeah, makes sense. Exeter City, 3 shots, 1 on target. It was in the 94th minute, and we scored with it.
Yeah.
And brilliant, Nicky Law, but that header was... He almost did his best to give the keeper time to get across. It kind of floated over the line. But
yeah, it looked weird, didn't it?
It did, but he did what he had to do, didn't he?
Oh, totally, yeah.
Brilliant.
And we've had glimpses of... Donovan Wilson, haven't we? And and he looked like he struggled in that. We've said before, his position is not, the lone striker holding up the ball.
No.
And I think it was kind of perfect, wasn't it? Because it looked like, if you watch it, so Kane Wilson takes the throw in on the right hand side.
Yeah.
And the defender is assuming that Wilson's going to hold the ball up, take it on his chest or head it on or something. He doesn't do that. He does what naturally he wants to do, which is run in behind. And he spins him, and you can see the defender just had no idea that was going to happen. Yeah. And I think almost there's a lot of good elements to that kind of assist and that little bit of play by Wilson. But the spin to begin with, and the ball just goes straight over the top of both of them, and then little dink over the defender along the byline, and then perfect little lob pass for Law as well.
Absolutely. And, that kind of could only happen in the 90 whatever minute because of course, we were just waiting for that one chance.
Yeah.
So, in a sense, if that had happened in the 75th minute, Law wouldn't have been running in to get it, or it would have been unlikely.
Yeah.
So it was, in a sense, absolutely perfect. We just waited and waited and waited and did all the defending we needed to do, and then kablamo,
Yep.
a poster just fell off the wall.
Literally as you said, kablamo.
Well, there we go. The poster knows it as well. So it was absolutely brilliant thing, and that will give Wilson a lot of confidence.
Yeah, as it should do, yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, we come up against Mansfield on Saturday, and obviously we now don't have Bowman. He's sat in Caspers with Knickerbocker Glory for one, sadly. I'm assuming his wife and children will now support whoever takes his position on, so they'll be at the game. So he'll just have to sit in the ice cream parlour on his own. But maybe Wilson will feel like he can go into that game. You know, obviously it'll be set up for him in a way that this game wasn't set up for him. He won't have to take Bowman's position. They can train all week knowing that Wilson's probably going to start.
Yeah.
And then, well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's imagine it. I know we've had the similar feelings to those Notts County fans. I mean, with that Grimsby game earlier in the
and
earlier on in
Lincoln
the
City
season.
away.
Of course, yeah. And you could see some of the Notts County fans just looking like absolutely devastated.
Well, the back four looked, couldn't believe it.
But I mean, on the plus side for them, they will be able to tell their grandchildren that they played against Nicky Law, the finest footballer of his generation.
Well, one morning, Father went out in the shed to get the saw to saw up some wood, and his hands was cold, and he let the saw slip and dropped down and landed on me, down the bucket and bottom. Oh, wasn't that cross?
So, although it was an absolute last gasp winner on Saturday, I think the whole team got to be proud of what they did. Of course, we were missing O'Shea on international duty with the Irish under-21s.
Yeah.
And then we lost Bowman after 20 minutes or whatever it was.
I really don't think Taylor said, didn't he? Matt Taylor said in his interview that Troy Brown wasn't down to play 90 minutes in that game.
No.
And what a brilliant job.
Yeah, absolutely. He did great, didn't he? And
we've been getting pretty good at clean sheets, but, you know, considering the personnel, and it's a great credit to him and all of them, and Pim as well, and Sweeney coming back in from that.
After the pox.
After chicken pox sort of
He was just itching to get
injury.
back on, Dan.
Yeah, well, he did well.
He did do well. They all did well, didn't they? I mean, they really did.
Kane Wilson was brilliant as well.
Well, what a player he's been this year.
Yeah. And he looked good, especially the second half of last season, didn't he?
Yeah.
And just come back and just even better. So strong and what a player he is.
There's no way we're hanging on. There's no way he'll be here for a second year of loan. I mean, unless, I suppose it's possible West Brom will go back up to the Premier League. I suppose there's a chance of that.
That could happen. We could go up to the League One and then maybe it's an option, but it's a lot of ifs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think he'd do well in any kind of team at the minute. He's playing with so much enthusiasm.
Yeah.
So anyway, hats off to him. He was great. Nicky Lill obviously kept going to the end. Taylor breaking up the play exactly.
Jake Taylor again getting a bit more wide praise actually from across kind of things you read on the internet and from the commentary team and from the manager and the other people connected. And I think about time that he's picking up the kind of some of those plaudits because he really has been such an important player in this season, and it's been pretty good so far, and we're in a pretty good place.
Absolutely.
And he's got to get some credit for that because he's an ever present in that team. Yeah. And especially when we've got so many people get in and out in injuries all over the place, he's not picked up any, and he's just doing such a great job. And I think it's just that's who maybe I don't think anyone was really questioning why he was the captain, but I mean if anyone was.
Yeah,
those are the qualities that you want, and I think he's the perfect man for the job.
Yeah, really great. And so Red Legion, time for a song, isn't it?
Get him a song. He's even wearing your hat.
He's wearing your hat. I got a song, something to do with a hat, and it exists already. So Taylor was great, Law was great, Boateng.
Yeah,
that's a big piece of a game that he's played now. Another one.
Yeah,
and looked good again.
I mean, it's so much harder to play with a man down, and especially when you're not fully fit.
Yeah.
Troy Brown,
Yeah.
Hiram,
Yeah.
and Pierce Sweeney, and Nicky Law as well, still not completely match
Yes.
fit.
Yeah.
And Ryan Bowman, although he didn't have much to do, did he?
Yeah.
So-
what was interesting was, of course, in the last match, we said what a good job Bowman had done, the win at home against Colchester.
Yeah.
And in a sense, he was our kind of leading light in that game. So to lose him so early on, they must have felt like, oh, okay, we're in this kind of place. I saw on Devon Live today, they're kind of suggesting City's luck's turning. I mean, they're talking about injuries in particular, but we'll see. I think it'd be really good. I think what's been really helpful for us is Bowman hitting some form. I know he's not scoring, but he's hitting some form. And then the other lads, Wilson and Fort and Jay, of course, thinking, okay, we've got to kind of keep up with this. Whereas before, it was just kind of 4 players who all just kind of were looking a bit, don't know what to do, in a sense.
Right.
So Bowman being around, great. But actually, if he was going to drop out of any game, to get that last-minute winner, I think Wilson will really feel like, I'm talking about Donovan Wilson, he'll really feel like, okay, I can do something here.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
And knowing that Bowman isn't injured, but he's coming back, he might think, like, well, this is my chance, actually. Like, I think Bowman's been good, but I don't think he's been so good that if Wilson got a couple of goals on Saturday, he'd be straight back in. Do you know what I mean?
No, I mean, it depends how we're going to play, doesn't it?
Of course.
We can't go thinking just because Donovan Wilson did that in the last minute that he can then play the same way that Ryan Bowman plays. Like, we did try that before, didn't we, of having him as like the lone man, and that didn't work at all. So I don't think we can go like, oh, great, he'll do that then, because he did a nice turn and a nice little flick.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from him. I just don't think that's his position.
No, I think that's a fair
he's that
shout.
player.
But I think maybe City were thinking, or Taylor was thinking, all right, well, the way we're going to work this then to the end of the season is Bowman. And actually, we did an amazing job. I know it was away, and I know it was against bottom of the league, but the pressure was really on. And like we've been saying, this game, Notts County and then Mansfield and then the next couple, they're real, is the season going to be a success or not kind of games.
Yeah.
And not, 20 minutes sent off, 70 minutes without your striker.
Yeah,
It could have if it had gone that way and we lost.
half fit team.
If we'd lost, we would have said, okay, well, things were against us.
Yeah.
And we would have kind of bemoaned lack of fitness and injury problems, and we probably would have blamed Tisdale for a while and whatever.
Yeah.
But
I think it's team spirit that keeps you going in those situations, isn't it? As well, like. So that's looking really good, and you could see how happy they were when they scored. Even got a little bit of a celebration from Woodman.
Wowee.
I don't know if he just got caught up in it, or there was
He
at
couldn't
very
move quick
at
enough.
very least a handshake in there.
Well done, Craig, for being the bigger man.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted. On the back of a difficult week last week, having lost at Wembley, and we're all terribly disappointed. And Paul leaving on Friday morning, got invited to an interview Friday afternoon, which was obviously a successful one, and then offered a job on Friday evening, and I accepted it straight away, and I can't wait to get started.
So Mansfield Town at home this Saturday coming. They're a team still within a good chance of automatics. They've just dropped out of the automatics into 4th place, overtaken by MK. They lost at the weekend. Their manager, Flitcroft, said it was an inept performance. And I watched it, or as much of it as I could, and they looked weak, actually. They looked like getting barged off the ball. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I've always associated Mansfield with, a bit of a Lincoln kind of team. Tough tackling, cynical. There was none of that. I don't know what they were, but, I mean, maybe that's why he was so upset. But it really looked like they just kind of capitulated.
Okay.
So, be interesting. See how they respond on Saturday.
Well, he'll be looking for a response, I suppose, won't he?
Yeah.
But we know, like, when a team hits a bad bit of form, that sometimes your manager just slagging you off isn't enough to pull you out of that, and maybe that'll work. There's different approaches, isn't there? And maybe if they really were that bad, then it's fair enough.
I mean, I think it's a bit harsh. I got to say, I mean, Crewe have been they're one of those teams that kind of struggled with consistency.
Yeah.
But they are a good team. They've thumped some teams in the league like massively, haven't they? Was it 6-7 they put past someone the other day?
Crawley, I think. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right. Yeah, so it's not like they've kind of rolled over 2-0 to Yeovil. Sorry,
Yeah,
Yeovil.
yeah.
So I don't know if he was trying to go for the berating, but it did look like they were just kind of letting the team walk through. There was one mistake, defender slip, but still it was like, didn't look like they were kind of killing themselves to get back in a way that maybe, well, like we've seen O'Shea and Sweeney and our kind of players do. But they do like to play football. So then it's not like we're coming up against a kind of team that's going to sit 8 behind the ball.
No, and that encourages me a bit, because I think we I mean, who knows? We generally do a bit better against teams like that, don't we?
We do. It was weird. So
we've not really got the physicality or the kind of height to deal with some of the more kind of stronger kind of teams. Yeah,
I think that's absolutely right. And of course, it's interesting. They managed to get a draw against Lincoln Monday, so only a week ago, but that was a real kind of argy-bargy game. It was on Sky Sports actually. So
okay.
I had the displeasure of watching some of it.
Wow.
That's commitment to this podcast, you see, Dan. But it seems like when teams got it on the ground, and that's what Crewe were doing, fast passing, like we did against Colchester, I think they're a bit slovenly.
Cool.
So we'll see. But I'd hope that we can give it an absolute good go.
Yeah.
And see what comes of it.
And I think we don't have any more fresh injuries, do we? We're obviously pretty tired after that. You're going to be, aren't you?
Yes, you are.
But fingers crossed, there's no new injuries, and it'd be nice to. There's some news that maybe Lee Martin isn't too far away, so maybe it might not be nice to see maybe if he features at all. That might be good.
I mean, of course, we're heading for a thing that actually catches us out quite often, which is the Tuesday fixture.
Right.
So we're Mansfield home on the 30th of March, Cheltenham away on the 6th of April. Now that should be, dare I say it, as straightforward a game as we're likely to get.
Yeah.
They've got nothing to fight for. They're not going to get relegated anymore, but also they've got no chance of anything. Then we've got Macclesfield 2 days later, or 3 days later rather, on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now, they are really fighting for it. So if Martin was to come back in and do us half an hour at Cheltenham, for example, or, I mean, we'll obviously have Bowman back fresh, a week off. Well, more than a week off, because you played 20 minutes, Ryan, you claim.
Sorry, hopefully. Oh, he definitely is sorry, because he apologised on Twitter.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I have that. You have that banana split, Ryan. You enjoy it. But we've hopefully just got enough depth that we can hit that Tuesday. And then, of course, it's only a few days and we're Port Vale at home. But again, they're a team that hasn't got much to play for. Crawley at home, not much to play for on Good Friday. And then we've got the dreaded Friday-Monday game. Stevenage away. Everyone remember that from last year?
Hey, wanker.
Perryman will be there giving us a wave. Ah, crumbs. So, goodness. It was, in a sense, we want to have done our business before we get to these really tight ones.
Yeah, go to a service station.
Very good. That was good. Don't want to get caught short. But with all that in mind, we in a sense, I'm sure Taylor is planning ahead for these only like 3-day gaps. I mean, the Premier League moan about it all the time, don't they? But of course, everything they do gets shifted around. So, you've got a Tuesday Champions League match. Oh, well, have the Saturday lunchtime game. Or it's bigger than that, isn't it? Whereas City with it'd be unfair to say a shallow squad, but we haven't got the depth of these teams that are in the Champions League. Saturday, Tuesday, and you think, well, crumbs, there's no wonder these players get injured on these heavy pitches and that.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? But
yeah, it really is. And so what we're going to need is as much depth as possible. So it seems like maybe Martin coming back. We've got Boateng, we've got Law. There's no talk yet of old infected knee Fort.
No,
but he's been on the bench, hasn't he?
I don't think he wasn't on.
Was he not
on Saturday.
This week? No. Okay, so I don't know.
Because I think he would have played, wouldn't he, against his old team?
Of course.
So yeah, maybe. But like I said, fingers crossed, no fresh injuries.
Yeah.
And just a couple more to come back. And
no more infectious childhood diseases either, please.
No, they've all managed to avoid nits so far as well. So
they've
no
had their
problem there.
Rubella? Anyone got any rubella around the camp?
No, you have the little sugar cube now, don't you? Just stop that happening.
That's polio, I think. Anyone got polio?
I think it's all in one.
Okay, well, it's good to hear. Well done, everyone, for having your inoculations. Good job, except you, Piers. Okay, well, with that in mind, let's see how we can get on these next 2 Saturdays. Like we've been saying, we can get through Mansfield with 3 points. Then suddenly it's starting to open up a bit, and you think, actually, these teams, apart from Forest Green on the last Saturday, there's no real direct rivals,
No.
which is
Well,
really interesting.
This coming Saturday is interesting, isn't it? Because there's us against Mansfield,
Yep.
and then there's 2 other games involving playoff or above teams, and I can't remember what any of them are, but they are. It's quite, it's something like that.
So Bury, Swindon, they're obviously Swindon a bit further out the playoffs, but they're still thinking they got a chance.
Oh, okay.
Bury, kind of odds on for automatics now. Then Colchester, probably their forms really let them down, but they're away to Cambridge. Forest Green MK is a big one.
That is big.
Lincoln have got Macclesfield, which is big for both teams, but for different reasons. And then Tranmere play Carlisle. So actually quite a lot could change on Saturday.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We really need to gain some ground, not just for any last gasp attempt at automatics, which I still think could happen.
No, but just for the run, for the
run,
momentum, we got to win,
We've got to win, and
we will.
well, there you go. You heard it here first, listeners. So you might notice from the background ambience that there's something going on, Dan.
Yeah, and don't worry, this isn't some new editing thing we've got where we're playing very quiet background music. We seem to have coincided this podcast recording with an open mic night
Next door.
next door. So that's what that is.
It sounds a bit like, earlier it sounded a bit like the Bergerac theme tune.
Yeah.
So I always liked that theme tune.
Yeah, good one. Good programme.
It was a good programme. Nettles. Is it true he's an Argyle fan, though?
Oh, is he?
Is that true? Have I just besmirched the good name of Nettles?
John. My grandparents once saw him in a restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't think they asked him about that, though.
Did they not?
No.
Was anyone worried about a murder or anything, or was it just... He used to be like Captain Hook every year at the Theatre Royal, didn't he?
Is he sort of from round here then, is he?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows?
Well, Google, but we're not going to look it up. Anyway.
If he is an Argyle fan, then he's dead to me, and I will never watch any of his programmes ever again.
Is he still in Midsummer Murders?
No, he's not in it anymore.
So he doesn't make any programmes anymore, so that's an idle threat.
Well, no, because I'm not going to watch any of the repeats either.
All right. He's from St Austell.
Okay, well, he will support Argyle then, won't he?
Probably support Argyle. Nettles, you dirty dog. Sort it out. It now surprises me that his wife was called Joyce Nettles. I don't know why that's amusing me.
Well, I'll tell you why, because his wife in Midsummer Murders is also called Joyce.
Is that right?
Yeah.
His middle names are Vivian and Drummond.
Solid.
Well,
I would have loved that.
He's a
if
rugby man. Surely he's got the look of a rugby man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll let him off. Someone from St Austell. They only like rugby anyway, don't they?
Well, I'm not letting him off. Let's suspend judgment.
All right. I mean, this is a tangent based upon a song that's not playing next door, but I think it's been worthwhile. So
Yeah, I'm going to run downstairs in a minute and ask them if they can play Ooh Ah We Are Exeter.
Is that in like a jazz chord book or something? We'll see how they get on.
Yeah, you know.
Well, I know the song, but would a musician know the song?
Oh, they should do.
I mean, listeners, the Big Bank has got our drummer, our loyal drummer, who, by the way, I always think hats off to him because that must be an absolute nightmare on the wrist and the shoulder. Like playing the drum for an hour and a half with nothing to help you out. You're just whacking
good
the
work.
thing. It really is. But is there any scope for any more instrumentation on the Big Bank? Like a didgeridoo?
Not a didgeridoo.
Not a didgeridoo?
No, they're the worst.
I mean, they are the worst, but it might add to the kind of noise.
Um,
Or like
shakers?
a bell. Get like a really big church bell up there.
Oh, that'd be brilliant.
That'd be like way
It'd be
better
good.
than the stupid
Yeah.
Lincoln air raid sirens. Get a
But-
church bell.
I still think we go a bit down the sort of gimmicky, and people go, oh, them with their bells. The sort of
I mean, the word
bell ends on the
it does
Big Bank.
it does lend you to that kind of problem, doesn't it? Okay, cancel the bell. But, I'd like to know what people think might work.
get my hi-hat.
Hi-hat, accordion. Anything. Get in touch. If you've got any ideas, we'll pass them on to the sources we don't
Speaking
have.
of music,
Oh, yeah.
actually, one other quick point on something we addressed before when we
we were thinking about what players liked what music.
Yeah, it was during the section when we were like deriding Piers Sweeney for his terrible.
Rightly so. I mean, it
playlist.
literally gave him chicken pox.
Yeah, and is that any surprise? I don't think so.
No, he caught it off his Bewitched CD.
But I was looking through that magazine Exeter Living the other day. Which
You
is
you and no one else.
Yeah, it's mainly adverts, I think, for, I don't know what.
I tell you what it's an advert for.
I don't know what it is or why it exists.
No, it's adverts like copper baths that are like £2,000 that you can only buy from Darts Farm.
Right.
And, it's got a picture of someone who definitely doesn't look like someone who lives in Devon, sat in one with the bubbles going.
The only people that have ever looked at that are people who are sat waiting for something.
Yeah,
and
dentist.
And it's there.
There's one in Spice Magic on 4th Street. They've always got them there. Shout out to Spice Magic.
Yeah.
Chuck a couple of poppadoms in extra next time. By the way, we do accept...
It's the least they can do.
We do accept bribes on this show.
Yeah,
we
what
can
do you
tell you
got?
the things we like, and you can share them with us for extra. So, Spice Magic, I think it's my favourite takeaway.
We do like
Exeter.
a curry, don't we?
Yeah, we do like a curry. So, if anyone wants to get involved with that,
Yeah.
let us know.
We also like all the other curry places in Exeter, not just Spice Magic.
Well, convince us that you're better by sharing us some free food.
That'd be good.
That'd be good.
So anyway, they always have this bit at the end where they interview a kind of local person.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if it's this month's or I don't know if it's monthly, weekly. Anyway,
It's not weekly, surely.
doubt it.
Carry on.
Anyway, Lee Holmes is in there,
Okay.
and he's saying some good stuff.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lee Holmes. I don't know what I think about Lee. No, I think he's brilliant. I don't know what I know about Lee Holmes. I know he came from Preston. I know when everyone's singing "Lee Holmes on Fire," he does his kind of up and down arm thing.
Yeah.
I'm demonstrating this for Dan, but you can't see it. But you know what I mean. He does that. That's kind of all I know about him. Tricky winger. I did not expect what Exeter Living revealed.
Well, they mainly sort of ask him about music, and what the question is, what piece of music would you put on at the end of a tough day? Which, by the way, is like the worst question ever.
I've had
And
a
it just
really
really
tough day.
sums up the whole publication. I don't mind having to go at them because they've got nothing to offer me. Unless, well,
Got a copper bath? Would
I
we
haven't
accept
actually
a
got
copper
a copper bath yet, so maybe I'm sorry, Exeter Living. It's great to read when you've got absolutely nothing else to do.
That's true. That's a fact. You can put that quote in your magazine if you'd like.
Go for it. Anyway, his answer to that question is country music all day long.
What?
That is my genre.
Country?
Yeah, country.
Yeehaw.
It's quite.
Well, I wouldn't expect
quite
that.
unusual, isn't
I
it?
put him down for like early 90s baggy.
Yeah, I would have thought a bit of Oasis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no.
country music.
And what was his specific? Taylor Swift or something, he said? Or was that's the person he likes the most?
That's a question about his celebrity crush.
Oh,
In
Taylor.
which he also name drops Shania Twain.
Oh.
So,
Well, Lee.
Shawing.
Whatever you like, Lee, but I did not expect that.
I'd rather listen to country music than the vast majority of what Piers Sweeney put on that. I think let's hand the playlist over to Lee.
I mean, it's not going to get you... It's not you get you rocking and rolling for the start of the second half, though, is it? You put on a gentle Shania Twain.
No, but you could
Are you
go a
the
bit
one I
more down the
love?
kind of Americana route, like, can't live under that country umbrella.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I mean, it was surprising. So let's see who's next interviewed. So this is a shout out to anyone who's going to interview an Exeter City player in the next few months. Get that question in. What kind of music do they actually like?
Yeah.
You don't have to phrase it as the after a tough day rubbish, because that's ridiculous. But
Well, we all have tough days.
we do have tough days. But that is not the way to phrase it.
I like to get into a copper bath.
Listen to country music. Well, I mean, these hot topics are what we're here for, listeners. So you can always get in touch with us via Twitter, Big Bank Pod, via Facebook, the Big Bank Theory Podcast, or on email, bigbankpod@gmail.com. And we've had some listeners from abroad, Dan.
Wow.
I know, wow. And we had a
What
bit...
an age to be alive.
well, it really is. So they've been listening abroad. This is what they said. So this is from Jim Fay. He says, Dear Big Bank Theory Podcast, very formal, thank you. I'm a first-time caller, but a long-time listener. He wanted to make us aware of our global audience. And he wants to set the bar for our furthest away listener. He's listening from Singapore, Dan.
Long way.
That's a really long way.
Long old
You have
way.
to get the F2, change at Whipton, and then, it's going to take him a good hour to get into St James Park. So thanks for getting in touch, Jim. We really appreciate that. I'm really afraid to tell you, though, Jim, despite your excellent efforts, and, Singapore's a very long way away, you've been trumped at the first attempt. So we've had more correspondence from Jonathan Cale. He's listening from Australia.
John Cale from the Velvet Underground.
I don't think it's John Cale from the Velvet Underground because he lives in Wales, doesn't he, nowadays?
I think he probably, yeah.
Playing
he
his
does.
large viola. So I don't think it's him. Maybe he's related. And he's listening from Australia, which is even further away. That's about as far as you can go, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if you can beat that, but we're really interested to know if you're listening from abroad. Where are you listening from? My friend Gaz got in touch from Barnsley. That's good. Good effort. Yorkshire. They
Yeah.
say it's a different country.
Not abroad.
Not abroad, but,
Technically.
So what's the furthest we can get in the UK? And then where else are we abroad? We'd love to hear from you
Yep.
on all those mediums.
Also, if you know John Nettles and can confirm on whether he's an Argyle fan, that would be really useful.
We wanna know.
So I can plan my television watching for the foreseeable future.
Well, there are Cornish Grecians, aren't there? They just kind of ignore the A30, the A38, whichever one it is. They ignore the one that goes to Plymouth and they just take the one that goes over Bodmin Moor and just pretend it's not there, like we all try and do.
Yeah.
So if you're a Cornish Grecian, maybe you'd know about John Nettles. Maybe you've seen him on the coach to Wembley. We'd love to hear from you. Get in touch. Friends, thanks for listening. This has been the Big Bang Theory podcast. Jonathan Cale mentions that there's a player from Australia called, it's a remarkable name, Glenn Sprod. Remember him, Dan?
No, I don't.
Apparently he was a 90s one-game wonder. So Glenn Sprod, does anyone remember him? But the reason I'm telling you this mainly is because Devon Live have been, today, launched a 15 players you never heard of that used to play for City list. I
saw that, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I think, back off Devon Live, we got the good ideas around here. We really appreciate everyone listening. Devon Live. We've managed to get our first team male player to add to Mansfield Sharp for the women's team. None other than Matt J has followed us on Twitter and liked our humble tweet rather, about him and his brilliant season he's having so far. So well done, Matt J. I hope you're listening. I hope it wasn't just for Twitter, just for looks and for likes.
Probably would have been, wouldn't it?
Well, we don't know. I don't want to badmouth him, but I hope he's listening. And Matt, get the rest of your mates on. Get everyone else listening. What would really help us listeners is if you want to leave us a review on iTunes. So you can do that by going onto the iTunes and finding the Big Bang Theory podcast, and you can leave us of course, 5-star review. Feel free to reference any weird City player that we've never heard of. Glenn Sprod can be first on the list. It's been really good to talk to you. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Yep, cheers.
We'll see you again soon.